Previously on Mars.
Getting to Mars will be the greatest adventure ever in human history.
With the science of innovators who came before us, we set out on an uncertain journey. A mission of exploration. We traveled 30 million miles further than anyone had gone before. And we successfully landed on Mars.
We're looking at a red planet.
But it was far from welcoming. In the time we've been here, the planet's tested us in ways we couldn't have imagined. It's pushed us to our physical limits. It's made us closer. It's made us question our sanity. And it's taken lives. But it's also given us hope that we can make this another home for humankind without repeating the mistakes we've made on Earth. There is life on Mars. To make it more habitable, we've begun 3D printing solar mirrors and launching them from the surface. Eventually, they'll form a reflective screen over the ice caps, warming the planet and changing its atmosphere. With the space station now in orbit, the Chinese government is a partner in this experiment. Science has been the sole purpose for human presence here. Until now. Go ahead and check some mass flow rates.
Engine test should have been completed yesterday, which is in a month.
We can only make propellant as fast as we can make it. It's gonna be fine, Mike. There's one thing Mars teaches you. It's patience. Looks like they're here.
It shouldn't be.
It's not like anyone could stop them from coming. Just wish they weren't gonna be so close to her.
Commander, incoming debris. They've lost it. Come in. Are you okay? Commander.
We're coming in too fast now. Everyone is burning bright. 182 seconds, baby. And heaven is a trick of the light. Calm down, my love. Calm down, my love.
Jettison their heat shield.
Obviously designed to break up an entry.
With all the money this company has, you'd think they could come up with one that didn't litter.
Or almost kill us.
Look at this mess.
Wow.
Can't believe we're on Mars.
Yeah, it's not to admire the scenery. Got big plans for this planet.
Now, last month we launched a new spacecraft as part of a re-energized space program that will send American astronauts to Mars. Pushing out into the solar system. Not just to visit, but to stay.
Mars is really the beginning of our becoming truly a spacefaring race.
3, 2, 1, and liftoff.
The future of humanity is very much in the solar system.
All systems are go.
And so the question as we start to travel to these other worlds, what kind of civilizations are we going to build?
We need to protect our planet.
We're going to need more oil for the future.
We can't afford to make the same mistakes we've made in the past.
Mars often functions as a great mirror for concerns that we have on Earth right now that are ecological and political.
the front lines of climate change.
Melting ice sheets that will raise sea levels and swamp coastlines.
The firefight is now a year-round event.
How do we keep the whole show going over the long term and make it sustainable? How do we get along together?
Does it become Lord of the Flies? Who's in charge? Should anyone be in charge? We have plenty of evidence of things going wrong in the history of actual human conduct on Earth.
Protesters want the Dakota oil pipeline route moved away from the Standing Rock Reservation.
We, as a human species, have the ability to affect and transform our planet. Some of us might think that we have to be stewards of the world that we live on, but at the same time, others might see planets as something that are ours to use.
We can create millions of new American jobs if we simply develop energy resources on federal lands, offshore.
The White House's argument is that the Paris Agreement is a job killer.
The president announcing the U.S. is quitting the Paris Climate Agreement.
Are we explorers on a path of discovery or on a path of exploitation? Of course, we have both of those things. We have a right hand, we have a left hand. We explore, we exploit.
We're human beings. We carry the entire evolution of our species with us. There will never be a clean slate on Mars.
面板已经就位，扬声正在进行，无人机正在进行最后检查。
Solar mirror successfully attached.
And we are at 6% completion. This rate, we'll have warmth, water, and breathable air by the time your grandson retires. The next solar mirror launch will be delayed a few weeks, unfortunately.
That's fine. We have plenty to keep us busy up here.
Keep busy or look busy? I don't know how you guys can stand it. Cameras broadcasting 24/7.
Hey, it helps pay for the mission. And it's made this one here a superstar back home. 你以前有几个人对你求婚？
我都数不过来。
So, no comment on the new neighbors?
Let's just say they made quite an entrance.
It's not like they plan to do what they did or that you can control where jettisoned objects land.
You're way too understanding. It's not just about how they arrived. It's the fact that there's been virtually no communication with them. Not before launch, and not even after landing. Never even shared their mission information, other than projected arrival date and location.
Lucrum's a private corporation. They didn't really have to. Especially since they came here independent of any space agency.
Elevator ascending.
It's not like the planet's ready for mass colonization.
I don't know. I think it's smart. Getting on the ground floor so they can build everything that needs to get built. Gives them time to find what they need.
If they even take time. Seems like they're in a pretty big hurry to dig into a planet they know less about than we do.
We just don't like it because they won't be reporting to you.
No, Amelie?
She wouldn't miss work. Not even to meet the new people.
She doesn't need to meet them to know that she won't like them. They're not scientists, for God's sake. They're miners, and they already dumped toxic waste.
Literally on top of us.
Look, whatever you think of Lucrum, they're here for the same reasons we are. To pave way for migration.
They're here to steal natural resources and to make a profit, just like they do all over Earth. There's the difference.
Well, they're here either way, so let's try and make the best of it.
Seasonal affective disorder, depression, anxiety, all of it can cause insomnia. It's pretty common when you've been here a long time.
Not sure why it's happening to me now then. I've only been here a couple of years.
Well, living in confined spaces affects different people differently. But since it's only been a problem for you recently, I'd like you to try some herbal supplements before I prescribe any medication. That and exercise. Okay, Cameron?
Is that what you do?
Sorry?
To cope?
Me? I just try and focus on the future.
Easier to do when you know what it is. Who knows how long we'll be here. You know, I hear the Lucrum people are term workers. Apparently they cycle out every 4 years. They're not in it for the long haul. They're not like us. Thanks.
Mars wouldn't just be full of scientists and dreamers. People would be there to turn a profit. If there's money to be made on Mars, then people would go there to make the money.
Space is turning private with plans for profits. Billionaires are funding ventures to get past the moon, onto Mars.
Imagine a gold rush outer space.
It will be very risky, extremely expensive, but none of that is stopping them.
Mars is going to be full of private companies eventually. It's not just going to be one company, there are going to be hundreds of companies on Mars. It's going to work very much the way it works on Earth.
I think a Mars civilization ultimately looks a lot like an advanced version of Earth. And Mars is for anyone who wants to be an entrepreneur and go into the brave new world and try their fortune. So Mars is going to be the planet of opportunity.
In this land, there is wealth beyond all dreams.
This is very old human nature. Humanity has been exploring foreign lands for profit ever since we've been able to build a ship and go there. You see something that has unimaginable wealth, and you want to go get it.
So guys at the back, we will now be at the ring in about 20 minutes from now.
When you fly to Goliath, it's just the open sea. 66,000 tons of steel, and it's floating here in the middle of the Barents Sea.
Now we have the Goliath just ahead of us. If you look out the door, you'll see it.
Goliath is the northernmost producing platform in the world. We take oil from the reservoir approximately 2-3 kilometers below the seabed, and then a ship will come and they take it actually all over the world, whoever the highest bidder is.
The oil and gas reserves in the Arctic are massive, experts say, worth possibly tens of trillions of dollars.
Russia, the US, Canada, Denmark, and Norway have all been trying to assert jurisdiction over parts of the Arctic.
In the Arctic, there is this mentality that let's go get it, boys. You know, it's there. It's there ripe for the taking. There are parallels between what's going on in space and the Arctic cold rush. It's a new frontier. It's unexploited. Space is just, it's another oil field. If humans think they can profit, they're going to go there.
Andreas, IKM. Ja, Morten er på drift. My job on Goliath is Operation and Maintenance Supervisor. I'm the right hand to the big boss.
Ellers skal du ut I 3 uker? Ja.
Begynner på 3 nå.
Begynner på 3, ja.
Det blir jo litt penger av det.
Så er jo bare den nullønningsdatoen den 20, så er det da det bare.
Det greit.
Ja.
I have a son. He's turned 4 this March. He missed me. When he gets older and get a sense of time, it's a bit hard and a bit challenging. But to support my family, it's worth the sacrifice, yeah.
People have to have some way to make a living. So it can't just be scientists going out to Mars. There also has to be a way in which people can bring their entrepreneurial spirits and be able to create thriving human communities.
Look, there it is. Wow, great design, self-docking parts, vehicle lift. I like it.
We'd have nice things too, if all our money wasn't going to your lab.
All that for DNA-based microbes.
They may not be new biochemical life forms, but they still need to be studied and protected, especially from them.
Okay. Everybody ready to meet the neighbors?
Decontamination complete. The 3D printers are now online and operational. Cargo drone dispatch to the core.
Oh my god. Oh, look at you. I miss dogs.
Cargo drone dispatched to Unit 4 for assembly. Module sync complete. Resource scan is in.
I see you guys met Marvin. He's the one who keeps us all from going crazy. Commander Harrell, but you can call me Kurt.
Lieutenant Mike Glenn.
Nice to meet you, Mike Glenn.
Commander Hanneson.
Of course. You're the one I want to talk to.
Likewise. Because your heat shield sprayed our launch pad with debris.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had no idea. I tell you what, though, we'll get out there and clean up ASAP. All right, what are you, about 200 people now? Must be a pretty well-oiled machine.
Yeah, it is.
That's good, because we need to hook up to your water and your power.
Sorry?
Well, it's my understanding that as astronauts, if we require your help, you're supposed to give it to us. Part of the outer space treaty that each one of your member nations signed.
Are you saying you're in distress?
No, I'm saying that 10 tons of equipment and 30 crew, we weren't able to bring that much water along beyond what we have in our radiation shielding.
Can't be serious. This should have been pre-negotiated, pre-planned. Yeah. I'm gonna have to talk to IMSF leadership before I can authorize it.
Go ahead, you do that. You run it up the chain. I'm gonna start laying pipe.
If Mars is going to have a thriving human society, then industry is going to be absolutely vital to that effort.
But all colonies throughout human history have faced the tension between the development of a new society and preservation. The more you preserve an area untouched, the less genuine society develops there. The example I always think of is there's a straight line from the Industrial Revolution to the modern age. Without exploiting fossil fuels, we would not have a global society. When you develop a real, vibrant society, you have the potential for great growth of knowledge, but you also are destroying some natural resources as you do so.
Certainly in a scenario where you had a Mars settlement that wanted to grow, you would be faced with tough choices. Even here on Earth, we often have disputes over how industry should be allowed to carry out their business. On Mars, those tensions are absolutely exponentially bigger. And so it's going to be really, really hard to say, yeah, of course, build some sort of industrial site here.
They've had their sights set on Mars for a long time. Getting regulatory approvals wasn't a problem for them. They have international clout. But more than that, they have money. Lots of it. And it allowed them to put together an impressive team of engineers to plan a mission of their own. That's my point. The lack of planning. And water is everything here. We need it to live, we need it for fuel. How could they come here without enough? Because they knew we couldn't say no in helping provide it. What Lucrum Industries really wants is to backdoor IMSF into some sort of partnership. Why? To gain credibility for this so-called infrastructure mission. Even though there's no one here to provide it for. Which is just their way of monetizing Mars. This is one of those times I wish you were still Secretary General.
Has legal counsel arrived yet? What Lucrum's trying to pull off needs to be dealt with immediately.
No, but their CEO's here.
Mind if I come in? Thank you. I apologize for not having arranged to meet sooner. I think it's a holdover from my never feeling quite welcome here at IMSF when June Song was Secretary General. I'm already more at ease with you.
What your company's trying to do by demanding water for humanitarian reasons is a gross manipulation of the Outer Space Treaty.
That should have been my first apology. The wrong impression was given. Our mining crews are a little rough around the edges. Not exactly the science types those at Olympus Town are used to dealing with, so. And now I owe you a third apology. For a moment, I'd forgotten you have that background as well. Interesting choice, shifting from scientist to bureaucrat.
My core values are still the same, advancing the mission of IMSF.
That's why the need for infrastructure can't be overlooked.
Well, it seems Lucrum did just that. By sending employees up there without enough water.
Look, I'm not going to deny knowing that we could count on you, but that was never anything less than a quid pro quo as far as I'm concerned. I do know that since the loss of MMC
We're
support...
not interested in bringing Lucrum Industries into the IMSF circle.
You know, I understand that's been the mentality here, but you've taken on the mantle of Secretary General at a difficult time. Terraforming, particularly at this pace, won't show progress for quite some time, if at all. And even your award-winning scientist has yet to find anything new for years now.
What are you suggesting exactly?
That IMSF is dangerously close to becoming irrelevant on your watch. And you should ask yourself if you want a second failure as part of your legacy.
So what happens next?
Building the link isn't an issue. We can do that, and I like to. But a lot's needed to make it happen quickly, at least on my end.
Hopefully we won't need to do anything at all. This is game playing, and IMSF knows it. Just waiting on an official note from the Secretary General.
I'd be happy to deliver that message for you. Don't trust that company or those people one bit.
We don't need to make enemies, but we don't need to be handcuffed to anyone either.
I love you. You know that, right?
I know.
I could have never lasted here this long without you.
Too many years now, right? Maybe we should do something about that. Maybe.
I'm going home.
What?
I'm leaving on next month's return flight to Earth. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Comms. I need to conference all member nation representatives right away.
Conference call request sent.
All right, let's hear what she has to say. May, play message.
After much discussion, IMSF has struck a deal with Lucrum Industries.
You're kidding.
They've agreed to increase our terraforming efforts and will begin manufacturing solar mirrors on Mars, which we will launch and the Chinese space station team will attach. So for the time being, give the miners what they want.
Transmission ended.
Any resource extraction is high stakes, even here on the Earth. It costs millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions to prove up a resource. If you're going to extract resources on Mars, you're going to work with the best drillers on Earth.
Morgan, så driver nå å fullføre den siste mekaniske jobben på gassinjeksjonskompressoren. Etter det så egentlig gasstoget ferdig.
Drilling in the Arctic is an incredibly risky endeavor. There are threats from extreme frozen waters, extreme harsh weather. A lot of the operations have proven to be empty wells. And the consequences just for the companies are enormous.
After pouring $7 billion into its search for oil in the Arctic, Royal Dutch Shell announced today it was calling it quits.
After more than 10 years, the oil giant announced it was abandoning the search.
This is a very, very hostile, very remote environment. It's really like trying to drill on Mars.
The Arctic is by far the hardest place to drill offshore in the world. And it's a very expensive place for companies to operate. You know, you're laying a lot of it out on the line.
On Goliath, we 12 hours shift, day or night. We have a lot of work to keep that production 24/7.
The average day here is very difficult. Some of the technical challenges can be very hard to figure out, and we have to do it in a rush because we don't want the production to stop.
On Mars, the stakes are going to be even higher. There's going to be high drama and high stakes all the time around this kind of development.
Well, that's 5 kilometers down, 20 to go. All right, let's get this pipeline done. We need that water. Oh, let's move. Let's go.
It was getting over the first rise. Cost more time than we thought.
We can make up for it here in the flats.
This is taking way too long.
Okay, well maybe we can see if our friends at Olympus Town will lend us some of their crew.
Yeah, I doubt they'd be much help.
Also, it's not like a manpower that's slowing us down. It's how hard this ground is.
What's slowing us down is not being smart about the route. If we cut through this area here, we save 3 days and tons of material.
Yes, but I thought
Jen,
that we had
we
to...
just need to connect with Olympus Town and get on with it, okay? Look, every day we're not drilling keeps us further from hitting pay dirt. We're here for a reason. Unlike our friends over at science camp, it's not to watch the ice caps melt.
Lucrum's gonna have the pipeline here early. Is that gonna work for us?
We're halfway through load testing now. So far, so good.
So you don't anticipate any problems?
No. Okay, shut it down. Let's try reactor 2.
Because even if Lucrum's ready sooner, we should only share resources if it's safe to do so. I don't want you working any faster than you need to, Javier.
It's fine. Doesn't bother me.
Okay. So what is it then? You seem bothered about something.
You knew. You had to have known, have to approve it, make plans for it, arrange for another doctor to take her place.
I did. And I'm sorry. But you have to understand that information was not mine to share with you. Look. I know how it must feel.
No, don't. Amelie is leaving, and it's not like I can chase after her. My body's not prepared to make the trip now. It's 2 years before another trip is even possible, and 7 months of travel time on top of that. It's too long for anyone. The water system is good to go.
Leslie.
Hello. I was here early.
He was an amazing scientist and a good man.
They were all good.
I know you feel that somehow what happened is a reflection on you.
It was. It is.
Paul wouldn't have wanted you to just walk away. He wouldn't have wanted you to just stop.
June, I can't go back.
I'm not asking you to.
Then why am I here?
I pulled some strings. I moved myself up in the queue. I intend to travel on the next ship out.
To Mars?
I know it seems impulsive, but if I don't go now, I probably never will.
And you can't leave until you found a suitable replacement for your position as Secretary General. Why me?
Because you get it, Leslie. The politics and the science.
And you think I have something to prove?
Don't you?
Secretary General.
Yes?
Are you ready?
I'll be right there.
See how these cultures tolerate dehydration in this sector?
114.
Excuse me?
That's how many times we've field tested variations of the same microbial form since I've been here.
If you think that's a lot, you should hear my number.
You're probably right. Makes me wonder how you've kept from going nuts in this place.
This place, as you call it, may have answers to the questions we've been asking for centuries. Where you see a red, dusty planet, I see beauty and possibility. I see a world that's new and pure and alive. There isn't just one life from here. It can't be. We have to keep looking.
Yeah. Hope we find something before funding runs out.
What's this?
Is that one of Lucrum's?
This area is off limits to them. They can't do this.
Well, it looks like they are.
People will go to Mars to try to make their fortune. Yes, they're doing a job for the corporation back home, but they also are creating lives for themselves.
You go to the frontier because you have a vision for you and your family. That is not a greedy thing. That is a human impulse to want to do better for your family.
It takes that sort of frontier mentality to do this work in the Arctic. People have to leave their families for often months at a time and go work in these very isolated environments.
Time stands still when you come out here. There's nothing you can do about it. When you touch down here, it's like 14 or 21 days before you can return back home. So it's hard. Hey! Kan vi du? Huh? Kan vi du? I try to stay connected with my son at least a couple of times a week. Vet du hvor pappa er?
Ja.
Hvor?
På jobb.
It's really been long since I held him, since I've been with him. It's a lot of moments that you miss. Okay.
Hello.
Ha det. It feels like everything happens when you're at work.
Hi, Daddy. A few days ago, I went to the store with Mom. Boring, but it was actually pretty fun. I got a crystal kit. You would probably think I bought this, but I grew it. Isn't it pretty? I'm gonna call it the Kirk crystal. If you were here, I'd give it to you. But you're not. I want you to come home. I miss you, Daddy. A whole lot.
Everything was running smoothly. Now it feels like I'm suddenly in over my head. Javier's pissed at me. Leslie barely speaks to me, and this jerk from Lucrum is treating me like I'm a little girl.
Your experience can't be denied by anyone. Always remember that.
Sorry to interrupt, but this is important.
And I gotta go.
Those idiots from Lucrum are plowing through Sector 2, which is an area devoted to scientific study. And they're contaminating the hell out of it. What? You need to do something.
We agreed on the routing.
Are you going to call their commander?
I'm gonna do more than that.
How you doing?
Good. Appreciate you coming.
Hi, Jen, Senior Systems Engineer.
Pleasure. Nice to see Luke has some women in their ranks.
Yeah, there are 6 of us, and he cuts us no slack whatsoever.
It's a nice elevator.
Robert, who you met, he had it built for us a few years ago. He also created this park.
Oh, wow.
It helps the crew keep their circadian rhythms.
That's pretty great.
It's a place for people to get together, relax, and experience day and night like they did on Earth. But that's not what I wanted you to see. Right this way.
Is that why I'm here? For show and tell?
Kurt, I understand your desire to move quickly. But your crew is cut into a scientific preserve, and obviously I cannot allow that to happen. This is why.
Yeah, I get it. You do important work here.
We're testing samples in the area and can't risk contamination.
With all due respect, Commander, the crew is a good 500 meters from where your scientists were.
And look, I get the whole let's keep it a museum thing.
Kurt, I'm not talking about the entire planet.
That's why we're doing our part by making the pipeline
I'm talking about one sector.
Which means we're going to be using less of the resources.
And that's great. But boundaries still have to be respected. Marta's research on microbial life is central to the work we're doing here.
That's funny, because I thought maybe changing the atmosphere was the bigger mission.
Obviously, terraforming is vitally important too.
Breathable air versus microbes seems like a no-brainer to me.
I assure you, everything we do here takes brains and proper planning. We're not the ones in need of water and power.
Fine, we'll go back to the original route. It's the least we could do for the people helping us out. Ready to go? We'll show ourselves out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey. Nice work on that elevator.
Thanks. How'd it go?
I'm not sure, but I think I feel better having eyes and ears on them.
You moved your things out of Rahab without a single word.
Are you really comparing what I did to what you did?
No, I should have told you sooner, but I just didn't know how.
You lied for months and waited until it was too late for me to go up with you to tell.
I just didn't want to hurt you. But in the beginning, I really thought I could do this. I thought I could stay, and I thought I wanted it, and being with you helped me so much.
So we are together because we've been stuck here.
No, look at us, Javier. We've been living under domes for 9 years. 9 years. I miss Earth. I miss breathing fresh air. I miss real grass. I miss the clouds. I miss the rain. Look around you. This is all fake. I miss real life.
This is real life, too. This is real
I miss
grass.
my family. And I've tried to fight it. I've tried to stop thinking about it, dreaming about it, but I can't. I just can't. And if I stay here any longer, I'm just gonna lose it. I'm sorry. I have to go.
As far as I'm concerned, you're already gone.
How much longer, guys?
Waiting on the crane.
Checking the hydraulics. And?
Seems okay. Should we do a line inspection?
After this one gets placed. Copy that.
Could use some more hands over here.
Stepping in.
All right, let's bring it down.
Roger that. Where are the rest of the pipes, guys?
Got the next one already cinched and hooked. 6 more en route.
Should have been here 10 minutes ago. We need to keep pushing.
There's 3 more coming.
Copy that. Have the core alignment. Hey, Terry! Keep that tow line tight. Come on, guys. I know you're tired. I am too, but we're moving way too slow. Let's get this one placed and synced as quick as we can. Let's go, guys. We've got a target number to hit.
Yeah, we're going as fast as we can, Chef.
We need to get hooked up to that water, people, or we're gonna have a real problem.
Here, help me pull this down. It's not activating. Hey, why don't you relieve Terry while I do this? He looks exhausted.
Who isn't? Jen, what are you doing?
I just need to do a quick diagnostic.
Well, make it snappy. We've already lost daylight and we're nowhere near done. Right, well, she's doing that. Let's start prepping the next pipe.
You almost move at this fast a clip? No, we usually move faster. Chef's just tired today. You're the design genius, right? The one that built the elevator.
Group effort, but that was a while ago. Haven't built much since.
Jen, what could possibly be taking this long?
Nothing. I'm on it. Sorry.
Okay, let's get this done already. What's going on down there?
Hey, there's a short.
We're gonna switch out the bad one.
Wait, hang on. I gotta pull the plug out first.
Come on.
It's stuck.
Let me help you.
Take a break if you need.
I'm good.
Pull the pipe out.
Hold on. Hold on, almost got it.
We'll switch it out for the next pipe.
Start as soon as we cut the screw open.
Displaced fracture with obvious deformity. Robert, we're gonna take care of you, okay?
I'm trying to keep as much pressure on as I could, but he's lost a lot of blood.
Radial pulse is good, so at least arteries weren't severed. Can you move your fingers along?
No, not really.
Okay. Prep the OR. He's gonna need open reduction and internal fixation.
What does that mean?
Let's get him into the bay. We need to set the bone surgically using plates and screws. Lots of them, and hope there's no nerve damage. Let's get a scan and treat his pain.
How could they allow this?
It wasn't them, it was me. I wanted to help.
Why would you do that?
Maybe I wanted to feel useful, okay?
Comminuted fractures of the radius and ulna as indicated. Soft tissue damage as indicated.
Not a surprise. Pretty big crush injury to your forearm, but could have been a lot worse.
You said I'm lucky.
That you didn't lose it? Yes. But it'd be months before you fully heal. And with injuries like this, it's possible you may never be 100%.
How can I be here and not be able to do what I need to do? What I want to do?
But hey, hopefully that won't be the case for you, okay? Come on, let's get you prepped for surgery.
So here you going back. You know we are gonna miss you here.
Another doctor is on his way to take my place.
But you're one of us. One of the first.
You're being sentimental, Robert. Must be the painkillers talking. Okay, sit here.
Don't know why you'd want to leave. Everything here is so easy.
I heard what happened.
I sent him there.
You may be in charge, but not everything is your fault. People make their own decisions, and sometimes they get hurt.
Or hurt others without intending to. You're not going in there?
I will, Vera. There's a lot of work I still need to do for the pipeline. Not like this is going to stop Lucran from getting here on schedule.
That's for sure. All right, let's do this.
All drives linked and operational.
Systems set.
Lucrum colony on standby.
Initiate.
Network engaged. Power uploading. Outflow in progress. Connection made.
I don't care if they do have a dog.
All right, that's it. We are officially linked. Good job, everybody.
With Lucrum Industries' commitment to the additional production of solar mirrors, we are effectively doubling our terraforming efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, IMSF is making Mars habitable, and soon.
How's Robert?
Better. I'll take some time to recover. But he's lucky he didn't lose his arm entirely.
Yeah, again, I'm real sorry that happened. Accidents do.
I know you're starting to survey. But it's important I share my experience with you, commander to commander. You're new. I'm not. And the one thing I've learned in my time here is that you can't force anything. You have to take it slow, and on the planet's terms, or face consequences.
I appreciate the advice. Look, I'm sorry that we did not start off on the best foot.
We're glad to have partners in the terraforming effort. I look forward to cooperation between our colonies as long as boundaries are respected.
We will absolutely try to do that. But you have to know, there are no real boundaries here. Not for Lucrum, anyway. We're a company, not a country. We didn't sign the Outer Space Treaty, and we aren't even based in a country that did sign it. So those laws, they only apply to you guys.
We're not alone. There are other human beings on Mars now. And while all of us have the same basic needs and the same long-term goal of making this planet a home for humankind, coexistence may prove just as challenging as it does on Earth.